Isn't Nick a Mexican?
Colombian.
He calls himself American.
What is this?
Anchor Baby.
And in this corner, it's the American Anchor Baby.
Daddy's home.
That's an offensive term. People find that hurtful.
You mean it's not politically correct? Excuse me. I'll use the word anchor baby. You know, he's an anchor baby in Canada.
Tell him we still rolling with Trump, too.
Anchor baby, the whole thing sounds horrific. You're just making it sound like immigrants are these horrific, greedy people.
Ustedes pueden aceptar mi negocio o aceptar las consecuencias. Plata o plomo.
So you would be considered white, in my opinion.
You the blackest one in this room,
I think so.
And what happened was his mama got pregnant on the other side of the border. And then a few hours before, just before it was time for him to pop out, she jumped across the border and let him fall on American soil. So he became the anchor baby. You don't call him the anchor baby for nothing. Amazing.
We like this anchor baby, right?
Hello, I'm the American Anchor Baby, and this is my show. Thank you for tuning in. About to get going here on this fine Thursday. And of course, as always, it's truly an absolute pleasure. Thank you for coming in. We're going to get going here. So I appreciate it for those who are rolling in from Joel's chat. Great episode today. Great episodes on the network. So appreciate it. We're about to get going. You can call me, 888-775-3773. If you want to jump on the line there. We're going to get going here. Because I got some things on the mind. Okay. We got a show. We got a bit of a show here for you. And I want to get into it, okay? They're talking about technology. They're talking about the women. What you can't do, what's wrong with Gen Z. Hopefully we could get into it here, okay? And I actually want to roll right into my show, but I don't want to start without doing one quick little thing here. And I hope, and I should have prepared. If someone in the office, if you can hear me, there is a UPS box near my desk somewhere. I require this box. Please. If we could just a little patience. I hope someone's hearing me out there. Oh, I think someone is. Because it was my birthday. It was my birthday. No, do you see like a box? It's from someone to me. It's like mail. Little box near the candy. What's up, folks? Appreciate the patience because it was my birthday. It was my birthday on the 13th, and someone sent me a little something. He told me to open it on the air. And they may be having trouble finding it or something. I should have maybe maybe I should go get it. Where the heck is that box? Do you see any other? There it is. It looks more like an envelope kind of thingy. Thank you. You can get rid of that. Appreciate it, Hake. I don't want to continue without doing this. A special little someone. Thank you, Carver. Shout out to Carver. Nick doxing his candy stash. It's Bond's candy stash now. Yeah, well, thank you, man. Thank you, Carver. We got ourselves a little thing here. We're going to open it on the air, like he said. And, you know, he's a supporter. A mod. And many things, okay? So we're very grateful, Carver. I know I am. All right. I'm doing this live because you wanted me to. So I really have no idea what this is. It looks like a Christmas present. Christmas in July? Not yet. Christmas in May? Loving the rap job here. It says to knit. That's how you spell my name, by the way. Knit. NITT, you know how to say my name. Everybody knows. Oh my gosh, no way. This is an incredible book. This is an incredible book. How to Win Friends and Influence People by Steve Harvey. Happy birthday, Nick, from Steve Harvey. Read it and weep, folks. From Steve Harvey. You know, Steve Harvey is a prolific author. He's written many books. One of them is this very famous book by Steve Harvey. How to Win Friends and Influence People. Carver, I don't know how you found this. I heard it's super rare. Incredible stuff. You know, I gotta read some of this here in the back. I mean, it looks like it has a foreword and everything. It definitely has some quotes on the back. Let me just read some of these quotes here on the back. Flying high, but not on pot, but on energy given to him from God. Wow. They got Jesse Lee Peterson to quote as a quote here on the back of Steve Harvey's book. I didn't know they knew each other like that. That is amazing. They got Donald J. Trump. He's an anchor baby in Canada. And even a quote from James Hake. This is an incredible edition of this book, Carver. I'm impressed. He calls himself American. Quote from James Hake. That it's the whole book. It's the whole book. It's the whole book by Steve Harvey, obviously. And if you don't know that this book is by Steve Harvey, then I don't know what the heck. What do you know? What do you know? This is an incredible gift. I'm impressed. Thank you so much, Carver. This is an amazing gift. This really is the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's the whole book in here. Chapter 5, The Secret of Socrates. 12 Ways to Win People. Wait, this is a tome of knowledge, of dark knowledge, I think. Thank you, Carver. This is an amazing birthday present. What a rare book. I wonder how much that cost you, sir. Thank you. Oh man, I'm reeling from it. I truly love that. Whew. All right, folks. Appreciate the patience. 888-775-3773 if you want to jump on the air there. You want to talk to the anchor baby. People are loving it in the chat. That's hilarious. Okay. You know I like talking about tech a little bit. AI, artificial intelligence. There's a little bit of a controversy going on. And it involves Scarlett Johansson. We love Scarlett Johansson, right? She's shocked. And you may have seen me, maybe, I don't know if I've done that on the air, but I think I did report on the new Omni. ChatGPT 4 Omni, this new language model released by OpenAI. These pioneers in this AI space, they were the ones who released ChatGPT, right? The first one. Who created DALL-E? I forget. Was that also ChatGPT? Yep. OpenAI were the ones that released DALL-E, that image generator that seems like, at this point now seems ancient, actually, if you think about it. It seems, it's dated technology. Remember, it would generate all these funny pictures. The fingers were funny. It's blurry, but it was pretty impressive because I've never seen Will Smith eat spaghetti like that. And that impressed the world. We're actually light years ahead. We have ChatGPT 4 Omni. She's talking to you. It's like the movie Her. You ever seen the movie Her? I gotta watch it. I know it's Hassan's one of his favorite movies. Her 2013 film, I believe, about a man who falls in love with a digital woman. It's an AI something representation in a computer, and it's voiced. This Her is voiced by Scarlett Johansson. Okay. So Sky is the voice of Omni, the new unveiled voice model. Now, it's not only Sky. There's a number of voices. You don't have to talk to a female AI. She doesn't have to be a she. It could be a he. Maybe you don't trust a female autopilot, female AI. I understand. I grew up in a time where all AIs were like women, except for like HAL 9000, but that was before my time. You know, Halo, Cortana, like they're all women. All the AIs, they're women. So we're used to a woman serving, or a woman AI serving at least. But anyways, Scarlett Johansson says she is shocked and angered over the new ChatGPT voice. The controversy is the new voice sounds like her. But it has another layer because there were previous talks from the OpenAI people and Scarlett Johansson. Lawyers for Scarlett Johansson are demanding that OpenAI disclose how it developed an AI personal assistant voice that the actress says sounds uncannily similar to her own. Johansson's legal team has sent OpenAI 2 letters detailing the process by which it developed the voice tech company dubbed Sky. Her publicist told NPR in a revelation that has not been previously reported. So they did this live demonstration. The OpenAI CEO, Sam Altman, that's a name you may know a little bit, he's said that he really likes that film. Her. Even doing like tongue-in-cheek comparisons to that voice. Now that this came out, they're like, okay, no, it wasn't us. We're not using your voice. Calm down. But everybody says it sounds like her. And Johansson is leading this here because it's a personal affront, like she says. During a time, she says, I was shocked, angered, and in disbelief that Mr. Altman would pursue a voice that sounded so eerily similar to mine that my closest friends and news outlets could not tell the difference. She also found it alarming because at the moment the internet is awash in disinformation. In a time when we're all grappling with deepfakes and the protection of our own likeness, our own identities, I believe these are questions that deserve absolute clarity, Johansson said. Definitely a conversation to be had. Deep fakes going around. There was already the first AI crime. They caught the guy. Remember, it was a teacher. Forget the exact details, but it was some teacher not happy with his boss, and he put out some AI deep fake of his voice saying racist things. Didn't go well for him. So, Scarlett, they got her on the voice. Does it really sound like her? Someone released Scarlett's statement using the new OpenAI Sky voice. Is this a sick burn?
Last September, I received an offer from Sam Altman, who wanted to hire me to voice the current ChatGPT 4.0 system. He told me that he felt that by my voicing the system, I could bridge the gap between tech companies and creatives and help consumers to feel comfortable with the seismic shift concerning humans and AI. He said he felt that my voice would be comforting to people. After much consideration, and for personal reasons, I declined the offer.
Well, here you are. Here we are hearing your voice anyways.
9 months later.
But hey, maybe that's not even Scarlett. I'm not getting involved. Scarlett, I support her. I stand with Scarlett. I support Scarlett. I don't really. I'm not taking this side with her. Because you got to understand something. Although she's not saying it quite yet, I wonder if they will. The internet already is. And with previous deepfakes of women, the internet in the world has come out, oh, you can't do that. They decry this move in technology that allows you to just take the image and likeness and voice of a person and remix it. But they add to it and they go further. They say, well, this is like when they make deep fake pornography of women. This is assault. This is rape even. I've seen some of that on the internet. That this is unconsensual pornography and stuff like that. They use all the woman words. They use all that language. And remember, that kind of language is kind of is like legal language nowadays. Okay, it's in the law. So we're talking jail time. We're talking that kind of stuff. So I'm not teaming up with all that. I'm saying I support her tongue-in-cheek because these Sam Altman freaks that run OpenAI and they want to create an AI god and stuff. They talk about it, maybe not Sam Altman, but they talk about it openly. OpenAI people, you could look into it. Elon Musk is one that has made a lot of public noise about OpenAI specifically, about AI and its possible dangers and how it requires careful calibration and all that so that it can only be a public good, not used against man and all that. You get it. And Elon Musk, who started OpenAI with Sam Altman and strange, it seems like cutthroat business stuff happened, and now it's not so good. It's not so good. And I'm saying tongue-in-cheek, I'm with Scarlett, because it's not about who says the right thing. It's about you. It's about your side. And sometimes you got to destroy the opposition. I'm messing around a little bit. But can I say this about the women and like this crusade? And I know people are teaming up with that, going like, yeah, you can't use deep fakes. That's wrong. We got to regulate it. Like Elon says, you're teaming up with these women who hate men. And they're like, you can't do that because I'm a woman. It's just, you're just taking away my freedom. You want privacy? You want to not be objectified? You want to be a free woman? You think you can have your likeness and not be objectified? You liar. This is what you wanted. This is the world you wanted. You think the world wants you? You think the world loves you and wants to protect you? No. That's not the world we created. A protected world for women? That's not what's being made. That's not what's happening. So yeah, you're going to get deep faked. You're like, look around. Where are these people who are supposed to defend you and protect women? I don't know. 888-775-3773. I'm not picking on you, Terry. I'm showing the smallest sliver of love. That the world has none of it for the ladies. I'm showing something here. Come on. Because they don't. You've been listening, right, ladies? You've been listening to the show this week? In general, I'm showing you that the world hates y'all. And I'm kind of giving you the little pointer to how to get that, how to stop being sad and pathetic and need the world. Because you can go to God too. Look, the world doesn't love you. And they don't love, I just don't have love. And I want to show you something here. Gen Z, speaking of technology a little bit. I've told you before what an interesting reality it is that doesn't quite get talked about much, that everyone has a phone in their pocket. The ubiquitousness of the smartphone is something that happened in like the last decade or so. So everyone has one. They get their news from it. They've changed. A lot of things have changed in a sense, especially where you get information. It's just a change. Change in society and culture. Think about it. Now you can be reached. Everyone can reach you. Everyone can call you. It wasn't always like that, and I know that from this video. Check this out. Gen Z can't handle the stress of being reachable 24/7. You could text them. You could call them. It's just too much stress. Is there a word, medical community, to explain the hell that they're going through?
A mental condition for people that find it really overwhelming to answer messages.
I am so glad she asked us. That video is asking if there's a name for the mental condition where you become so overwhelmed with text messages or emails and everything that you just can't answer any of them. And yes, there is an answer to this, which is that the way you're being asked to live right now is objectively insane. And when I say objectively, I mean that in the entire time this species has existed, no one was ever asked to be on call 24 hours a day to everyone who knew them. That has never happened before. Nothing in your brain has evolved.
Your brain hasn't evolved for it. Sorry, I talked over it. He's saying your brain hasn't evolved for it. It's unprecedented.
To maintain that level of contact. Nothing in the culture has evolved to teach you how to deal with that level of contact. Kids, do you understand that even when I was in college, if you left the house to go to class, to go to school, to go out to eat, to go on vacation, you were totally cut off. If you were in the car, it was literally impossible for anyone to contact you. That means that well into my adulthood, it was understood that the only people who had to stay on call all the time, the people who had back then, it would be pagers or very primitive cell phones. They were very specific professionals who had extreme high pressure jobs. Go watch an old movie from the 80s. If they ever show a guy on a phone in his car, he has the type of job where he's always 1 minute away from having a heart attack. Like it's portrayed as being an objectively high stress, high pressure way to live. That
I think you have a high stress way to live, man. check your Norwood. I'm just joshing. I'm just being nasty for fun.
No normal person would ever do that. When I was a teenager, the only way to contact a friend was to call their house and their parents would answer. And if they weren't home, you would have to leave a message with the parents, meaning the parents would just remember what you said and tell them when they got home.
Y'all don't got pens? Y'all don't got no smartphones? Yeah, we had tablets. We had. Well, I bet you people could remember. That's the thing. That's why I'm so incredulous.
And it was routine for them to not get back to you, and it was no big deal unless you were calling about some kind of an emergency. So as recently as, say, 20 years ago, to be a friend who contacted someone and then demanded they instantly respond no matter where they were or what they were doing, that would have been considered pathological behavior.
Whoa, pathological, he says. Whoa. Interesting stuff, though, no? Life hasn't always been the same. Like I said, I grew up already when the internet was around. Then the smartphones came around during my lifetime. But, yeah, we always had house phones, etc. Very interesting, though, don't you think? Uncontactable. It's kind of like, I have friends like that now. I have one friend in particular like that now. He does not have a phone. And you just can't contact him. If he's not at work or at home, too bad, so sad. You got to leave a message. And he just stayed like that. He might have a phone now. He also says anything outside of his view doesn't exist. So we don't exist right now. Shout out to the ideology of Samism. Anyways, interesting juxtaposition, how it changed and all that. But can I just, reacting here. Have you ever thought to yourself, maybe, man in the TikTok teaching the younger generation who's wondering, why am I feeling this way? And you telling them, yes, there is a problem here. The problem is it's all this tech, it changed, and we didn't evolve. Now we're sick. I don't know what he's saying. Did you stop to think maybe that you didn't just realize you don't owe anyone anything? Do you know what sincerity means? You know, it's like, I'm not saying anyone has it, but what is a friend or a family or someone you love? I guess it's just someone who stresses you out because they text you or something like. But that's good, right? Because you're feeling something. They're remembering you. It seems shallow to me. Don't you see what I'm saying? Have you thought maybe to teach the youngins that they don't need to be so self-important, and that responding to texts and calls doesn't need to be such a challenge? Here's what I mean. Have you thought maybe to tell the young people to stop being such self-worshipers? You know what I mean? You got to be a self-worshiper to make a call drama. People contacting you drama. See, people didn't know that they were such self-worshipers maybe before the ubiquitousness of phones. They all thought, maybe their kids were great, but their kids turned out to be shallow, vapid, stupid, degenerate. They want likes. They want, they can't handle. They feel like they need to be there for the whole world, and guilt. The guilt comes on if they're not. Well, wow, what a self-worshiper. When did you get so important? Where did you get so important that it's a drama to call, it's a drama to tell someone, hey, you know what, stop calling me, or this person I don't need to answer this person right now. And for it to be 𝒔𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒎 and not personal. Everything's personal. Everything's personal. Wow. When did you become such self-worshipers? It's like, where the heck did that come from? Maybe it came from the parents. But where the heck did the parents get it? What's the source? I say it's the mind. I heard this and it's true. I've seen it in my own mind. It's the mind. And what's funny is everyone agrees. Everyone agrees, even the world. They call it mental illness. We at least agree the source of a lot of these things that we're talking about, at least today, it's the mind. We at least agree somewhat on this source, sort of. But we'll get back to that. Just look at this. You see what I'm saying? Self-worshipping Gen Z that makes it a drama. They're being contacted by the egotistical world who thinks your time belongs to them. And what's funny is people who are self-worshippers and dramatic like this, to the people that are close or at least around them and at least at least say that they care about you and they're like, hey, what's up? To those people, these drama type people who you say you love and you know, you love them and we're friends, they cause you stress. They cause you stress because you're such a self-worshiper. You think you're so important that your time is... Do you understand what I'm saying here? Kind of reminds me of that dating girl. That girl who couldn't find a date. I played her video on Tuesday. She went to some comedy club. Self-worship. Self-worship, to think anything about yourself. Because then whatever you think about yourself can be changed and manipulated and used to control you. And guess what? Guess what controls you? What you worship. Nick. Now your juices are flowing. You're like, what the heck? So then what the heck is the self? I don't know. Figure it out. Keep watching. But I gotta say, I don't think it's me. So what the heck is self-worship? Satanic worship? I don't know. Think about it. Think about it. Don't think about it too hard. But self-worshiping, it's like, yeah, you're not going to evolve a brain thing, my friend. You're not going to evolve a brain thing to handle phones better. It's just, if you don't start figuring out that the feelings you get of guilt and the positive and negative feelings are this carrot on a stick controlling your behavior and the source of stress, the source of conflict inside. If you don't figure that out now, it's just going to get worse. Look at how fast this tech stuff is moving. You better start figuring it out. You know what I mean? And a little bit of doomery too. The reason everybody has, you say only high stress people with the pagers, and that would only be a thing, I guess. But if the world didn't want to be contactable and make it easy to contact someone, they would not. If they didn't want that, they wouldn't have adopted it, okay? They want that. You want it. We all want it, okay? Nobody wants to go back to when you couldn't contact someone when they took a drive, okay? Because emergencies exist, etc. Yeah, there are negatives, but the negatives are inside of us. You get it. Hopefully. Idol worship. Isn't that so savage and barbaric? 888-775-3773. You know, isn't that so savage and barbaric? People see Christianity and religion as ancient and barbaric and backwards, some say. That's a modern thing in my lifetime. It's been around, I guess, but what is our lifetimes here? A blip, sort of. You know who else calls our life a blip? Just like a match. You just light a match and then it's gone, so you better enjoy it. Atheists. And the funny thing about atheists is that everybody is an atheist. They spiritually agree with this video I'm about to show you, okay? Atheism, idol worship. Look, I want to show you some barbarians. And then I'm going to show you some more barbarians. Check this out. Evolving a brain thing to handle TV is the plot of the great movie Videodrome. That's interesting, Carver. I think I've heard of that movie. I might have to watch it. Okay, folks, hold on. Just reading the chat here. Don't need to do that. Where were we? Atheism. Idol worship, barbarians, savages. Look at this little video. And don't cringe, because remember, that's not Christian. Here we go.
I'm pretty sure that life doesn't have a meaning. And if there's a God, then he doesn't look like me. And I'm just a member of the current apex species. But there'll be another when the humans go extinct. We've only been around 200,000 years of 13.5 billion years. How can we think the pinnacle is here? Isn't that arrogant? There's a couple 100 billion trillion suns, and we act like it all was made for us. There ain't no way that we're the only ones. I'm not important, and neither are you. So let's do whatever we wanna do. bask in our cosmic insignificance. Soak up this blip we're living in, cause nothing matters anyway. Isn't that great?
Are you feeling cheered up? Are you feeling happy? Are you inspired? Ready to take on the world? Is this Ben Folds 5? That's funny. I haven't heard of Ben Folds 5 in years. Ben Folds 5. What are you, a 𝒏𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒎𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔 fan? You little emo. Ben Folds 5. I'm doxing myself, really. That's funny. Yeah, it's got a little bit of that beta in there. Electric piano in the pool. Nice one, Einstein. Stop cringing, Christians. What happened? Oh, my background. So, yes. Grow up. Grow up, atheists. Like, I'm not arguing Christianity, the existence of God here. I'm just wondering, like, you watch that, you got to ask, what part of that is good? But that's clear, right? Like, we're cringing, we're having our reactions here, but anybody in the chat ever think like that? Maybe not, maybe there are Christians, homegrown Christians in the chat, maybe a whole bunch of things here, but I was this little intellectual, and I read something about atheism, it sounded right. Oh, someone said, Jesus, oh, you believe in some flying spaghetti monster in the sky or something? I guess that sounded smart to me. And then I met a girl, and I was still kind of, I wouldn't say anything. I had my criticisms of the church and Christians and my own family, and science. I don't know, made me think certain things. My at least shallow understanding of science using my brain or whatever. And then I met a girl. I never said it, but she said no. Someone asked her, does she believe in God? She said no. And I'm like, yep, me neither. Oh, yeah, me neither. No, I'm an atheist too. Hey, what's up? That's all it took. It's just what happened. But okay, anybody kind of relate? I remember in a creative writing class once saying something like that, how there is no meaning or heaven or hell, so we're not bound by these rules that should make us feel guilty. If I really reflect and think about it, I was just projecting my own guilt. I was projecting my own self-judgment. Why am I so emo? There's a conspiracy. I was never emo like that. My hair was too curly. So I couldn't rock it. But you understand me a little bit, people. This is what we're kind of up against, in a sense. It's a spiritual battle. We're up against the haters of life. It's like that, is all I'm trying to say. It's like that. We're up against people. We're up against not people, but the demons who want to lob mortars into heaven, through us. Okay. But anyways, really, a lot more people are like this guy, even Christians, than you think. And I hope to maybe make that point here in a moment. But checkmate, atheists. Sorry, you thought you'd live forever, huh? Sorry, atheists. It's not looking good. Yeah, embarrassing. Oh yeah, that hurts. Whatever happened to the first cryogenically frozen humans? Like you die and you pay a company to freeze your body so that one day when technology is advanced enough, they unfreeze you and you're alive in 1,000 years in the future. Cryogenics. What happened to the first cryogenically frozen humans? A few of them decomposed into a plug of fluids and were scraped off the bottom of a capsule. Damn. Dang. Dang, how much you pay for that? It sucks. Scientists recently reviewed microscopic creatures frozen. They were all dead too. People, they're a puddle. They were left into like little puddles that they were scraped off the bottom of a metal capsule. What a business model, by the way. What an amazing business model. Yeah, no. Just, we'll put you in this. You're already dying. You got all this money. We got you. We'll put you in this tube. No, I can't make a promise. I'm in fact not sure if this is going to work at all. But don't worry. We have plenty of time. Because you're frozen. We'll freeze you. Just pay me the money. Just pay me the money and we promise. Don't worry, we promise. We promise to bring you back to life and put all, and keep your body cryogenically frozen and pay and put the research and bring you back to life. You'll be first. I promise. What a business model. The DEI janitor at the cryogenic factory. Yo, I cleaned up that puddle in the freezer. That was Johnson. Amazing. 888-775-3773. I want to show you this. A little bit on love. A little bit on love. Check this out. Okay. Let me show you this. We got a legendary video going around on Twitter. This is clearly some sort of opus, clearly a pinnacle of someone's skills on Twitter. They've used footage of Jesse Lee Peterson with this conversation with Richard Spencer. They've used a little bit of meme magic to create this little slice of the internet.
Do you love black people?
You know, do I love black people? I'm not sure I would say I love black people. No.
Do you hate black people?
No, I don't hate them.
Do you love them?
I don't love them, no.
So you have to either love or hate.
I'm not sure everything's such a binary thing.
There's no in between. There's no gray area. You either have gray area. No, you either have love or you have hate.
I can recognize the legitimacy of the black race. I can appreciate them to a degree, but just to say that I unequivocally love black people, I won't. I don't.
But do you understand that if you don't love black people, you love no one?
I love white people.
No, you can't. Do you love?
Huh? Thanks for the memes. Appreciate it. Hope y'all go viral here. Levenger here on Twitter. Remix Jesse. Do it. I love it. Great stuff. Richard Spencer was on the Jesse Lee Peterson show. And you could definitely check that out. And I'm not sure I'm pretty sure he's not a Christian, right? I'm pretty sure he's an atheist, maybe Christian friendly, maybe culturally Christian. I don't want to slander the man. So, no problem. But I hear Christians talk like that. You understand? I hear that from Christians. And what I mean is this misunderstanding of love. This kind of incredulousness, kind of like, well, what do you mean? What do you mean love all people? What do you mean love black people? And then this false belief that you could love one and not the other. The inner versus the outer, words versus spirit. I notice no one really gets that. No one, especially at least those who are supposed to. The men, the Christians, the conservatives. I hear the Christians talk, white Christians, etc. They say they love white people, and then they'll hear someone like me say, you got to love all people, that you should love blacks, etc. And to them, it sounds like I'm defending their behavior. I'm defending wrongdoing. And they can't, it really shows how the world thinks. There is no separation between actions, thought, self, spirit. It's all quite a shallow understanding of, to them, pinching yourself feeling is the pinnacle of reality. And the thoughts you think is your innermost self. That's what it is to people. But can't you stop and think for a second that there's some kind of logical disconnects here? Here's one. Why do you do things you don't want to do? But anyways, we were talking on the Jesse Lee Peterson show today about this story of Caitlin Clark, the women on The View. You saw that? basically the women on The View, you know that show, these hags get together to air, I don't know, they make up stuff, okay? Because their job, their bread and butter, their business, their lifeblood of their business is false grievances. Racial ones, of course. They didn't like that a young white girl with pretty privilege, racial privilege, a young white girl was becoming popular for excellence and decency, I think, somewhat. Most of the way, right? Maybe more excellence, I don't know. I'm not saying yeah or nay on the decency, I just don't know. And the most important point there, too, from Jesse was that this is how Sunny Hostin and Whoopi Goldberg were talking about Caitlyn, saying that she's only popular because she's a young, pretty girl, white girl, da-da-da. And Brittany Griner isn't popular because of same crap. The most important point out of that, coming out of Jesse, was that this is how black people think and feel kind of like regularly. And Sunny Hostin and Whoopi Goldberg were just putting it out. They're just putting out how they feel about white people, about society, really revealing anger, if you know what we're talking about here. And this insane lowering of standards is, of course, not only just off the deep end, but it's actual savagery. It's actual Let me show you. Let me show you what I mean. There's an incredible story here I was made aware of through Richard Hanania, whatever, on Twitter. And I'm reading this from Free Beacon about a medical school in the UCLA. How racial preferences, supposedly outlawed in California, have persisted at UCLA. This is important. This is crazy. So, basically, a little summary. The people who are so-called graduating, going to medical school and beyond, are so underqualified and bad that the professors and recruiters are basically coming out and whistleblowing, etc. And so here's the story. Long considered one of the best medical schools in the world, the University of California, Los Angeles' David Geffen School of Medicine receives as many as 14,000 applications a year. Of those, it accepted just 173 students. In the 2023 admissions cycle, a record low acceptance rate of 1.3%. So when it came time for the admissions committee to consider one such student, hold on, apologies. The median matriculant took difficult science courses in college, earned a 3.8 GPA, and scored in the 88th percentile. Without stellar stats, some doctors at the school say students can struggle to keep pace with the demanding curriculum. So when it came time for the admissions committee to consider one such student in November 2021, a black applicant with grades and test scores far below the UCLA average, some members of the committee felt that this particular candidate, based on the evidence, was not the best fit, okay? They said it, and all hell broke loose. Check it out. We got this is continuing on the story here. These recruiters, teachers came out saying these people should not be pushed forward and go to medical school. Their reservations were not well received. When an admissions officer voiced concern about the candidate, the two people said the dean of admissions, Jennifer Lucero, exploded in anger. Jennifer Lucero, here's this lady, short-haired. You gotta be careful. Red flags, they say. Jennifer Lucero exploded in anger. Did you not know African-American women are dying at a higher rate than everybody else? Lucero asked the admissions officer. These people said. The candidate scores shouldn't matter, she continued, because we need people like this in medical school. I'm sure you're not surprised, maybe, at how crazy some of this has gone, but maybe you forgot. This is where we're at. We need people like this in medical school. No logic, no reasoning. But this is where we're at. And the reasoning here, did you not know African American women are dying at a higher rate? So you want them to die at a higher rate. Give them an unqualified doctor, but that's justice. Even before the Supreme Court's landmark affirmative action ban last year, public schools in California were barred by state law from considering race in admissions. The outburst from Lucero, who discussed race explicitly despite the ban, unsettled some admissions officers. Race-based admissions have turned UCLA into a failed medical school. We want racial diversity so bad, said one of the members of the admissions staff, that we're willing to cut corners to get it. Interesting, but why do you want this diversity so badly, this racial diversity? I think I might have a reason. Besides other reasons I've brought up in previous episodes, like money and corruption, there's another kind of grander societal point here I want to make. So let me finish this up. Together, I have students on their rotation who don't know anything, a member of the admissions committee told the Free Beacon. People get in and they struggle. That's crazy. This is medical school, remember. It is almost unheard of for admissions officials to go public, even anonymously, and provide a window into confidential deliberations. So that's how bad it is that they're coming out and doing this, even though it's so rare. In some cohorts, within 3 years of Lucero's hiring in 2020, UCLA dropped from 6th to 18th place in U.S. News and World Report's rankings. And in some cohorts, she admitted more than 50% of students failed standardized tests on emergency medicine, family medicine, internal medicine, and pediatrics. Incredible. One professor said that a student in the operating room could not identify a major artery when asked, then berated the professor for putting her on the spot. I don't know what that is. We need Jesse to do an impression of this. Student berating the professor for putting her on the spot. Another said that students at the end of their clinical rotations don't know basic lab tests. I don't know how some of these students are going to be junior doctors. Faculty are seeing shocking decline in knowledge of medical students. But Lucero, but they're dying at a higher rate, says Lucero, this short-haired lady here. Don't you know? We need more of these people here, she says. Clearly, it's just obvious. Okay, we're almost done with this. The bar's low. You get it. The bar's low. No one loves them. And we can move on from this story. You get it. It's pretty shocking. UCLA and all that. You know, shocking for some. But can I say something here? New plan. Don't get sick. Dang. Okay. Can I tell you about something here? Can I tell you what's going on here with white people, with Americans, with people in the West? It's happening to all the races, if you think about it, in different ways, some against, some for. But you know what's going on here? This is a fetish. This is what this is, a fetish. And you don't know what that word really means. You think it's like a sexual thing, and I get it. It's like in psychology and all that. But the word fetish has a more ancient meaning here, okay? Its primary interpretation was an object of devotion. See, historically, a fetish was an object believed to have magical powers, or an embodiment of a spirit, an embodiment of good or bad spirits. Rituals done with these objects or concepts to absolve or do different quasi-religious spiritual things. A fetish, you understand? A fixation or an obsession is another more broad kind of definition of this word. But the etymology, the term fetish, it originates from the Portuguese word feitiço, meaning charm, sorcery, okay? Let me give you an example of a fetish. Because I've been talking about Mel Gibson. Apocalypto. The Aztec human sacrifice. You remember this? I was telling you about this. The Aztec human civilization thrived in central Mexico. You know about them. You watched Apocalypto. Human sacrifice. They believed that human sacrifice was essential to appease these gods, to bring them fortune. And they would do these elaborate dances, and they thought that was godly. They thought that was good. But the people who came, the Europeans who came and saw them, wrote about it. They wrote about rivers of blood, a fetish. You understand what I'm saying? What white people have done with black people is, well, to be honest, it's not even about black people, but their preeminent position in the world. Let's just be straight up. But what the West has done with the POCs or whatever, what white people have done with black people is that they fetishize them. They've made them into the objects of their absolvement. It's quasi-religious, but in a very primitive way. You know what I'm saying? In a kind of a primitive way. And guess what barbarians do? This is what savage barbarians people do. They fight, they kill, and they hoard without any sense. It's not logical. It's war. It's conquest. And that's what these immigrants and angry blacks are doing. They're doing conquest, war. It's not about, I'll prove it to you in a second here, but it's looking like apocalypto up in America. You know what I'm saying? It's looking like apocalypto in America. I'll show you a couple more fetishes here in a second. Mental illness, they call it. Self-worshippers. Imagine thinking mental illness exists like that. You have to worship the self. But first, we got Kaya out of North Carolina. Appreciate your call, Kaya. You're on the air.
Hey, Nick. How's it going?
All is well. Thank you for your call.
You have to forgive me. I completely got thrown off while I was on hold with you, so I'm trying to return back to my body real quick. Oh, I was calling about... Yeah. It's going down over here. But I was calling about what you were saying about how black people really are sold, like they really do hate white people. It's not for pretend.
Right.
And when I say pretend, like when I was growing up, I believe all different races of people did this. We had our little jokes. Mm-hmm. You know, white people can't dance, black people love chicken, Mexicans are border hoppers, whatever the joke was. Mm-hmm. Everybody, had their little jokes, but it didn't mean that we truly hated those people. At least speaking for myself.
Right.
I'm from the West Coast. I grew up in California with more white friends than black. Same thing when I moved to Washington State, and then I lived in Hawaii where nobody's really black. So there was never a hatred of each other, but always humor in the differences, right? But now I'm noticing how these black people, I'm noticing, I'm so disassociated with it, right?
It must be nice in the house. No, I'm messing around.
What'd you say?
It must be nice in the house.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, for real. I'm not light enough, but
yeah.
I'm not light enough to be in the house, but I think if I worked hard enough, they'd let me in.
But that's what angry evil people say.
Oh, if you like white people,
if you're an individual,
Negro,
right?
Oh yeah. So now I'm in an environment at work. I'm in a different city right now while I finish up my little training program, and this staff is about 88% black. Okay, super black staff, a few Hispanic, and maybe 4% white. And it is clear as day to see how nasty the white people get treated. And there's no like Slim Shady Marshall Mather white people who are like passing as black. They're just regular old white people.
Right.
But it's like they're vocal about it. It's not only the treatment. People will say things. For example, I walked in to help somebody at a computer or do whatever I'm doing, and this coworker of mine, just to give you context, okay, this black guy has dreadlocks, tattoos all over his body, tongue rings, always looks stoned, like just looks the part of when you think of a black degenerate person. That's how he looks. Well, he comes in with his baby, and he's showing off his little baby, and he has some music coming out of his pocket. And finally I asked what it was because I didn't recognize it, but I knew it was some nursery rhyme type of stuff. So I asked, like, well, you know, what is this? Is this some kind of Coco Melon remix? And everybody just starts going in on me. Oh, this is Baby Erica or whoever this black YouTube nursery writing person. I still don't know who she is or why she's so important. But they all just start going off about how nursery rhymes are racist and Three Little Monkeys was about black people and my kid's not going to grow up singing these racist ASS white people nursery rhymes. I'm and I'm just standing there baffled, right? I'm taking it all in, but I'm also knowing this isn't right because now I'm a manager. I'm in training to be a manager.
Right.
So I have to kind of look at the situation, like what is actually going on here? And I know it's not appropriate, but I also didn't know what to say. I was literally flabbergasted. So he finishes his whole soapbox about that. And then maybe a day or so later, I called my GM and I let her know. And she's a white woman. And I said, hey, I think you need to be aware that your staff up here is loosely talking about their hatred of white people. You know, I explained the whole story to her. And she seemed a little bit surprised. But nonetheless, these situations continue to happen. I continue to find myself having to confront these angry, some of them teenagers, about how they can't talk like that. You know, we work in a corporate restaurant and they can have their views, but they're not allowed to just say these kind of things. But it's so hard to just keep it there because I really want to go on my whole spiel, you know, like about how they're blind to the obvious, but I can't do that. That's, you know, I'm there for work only. But man,
I like how you're handling it.
What'd you say?
I like how you're handling it. But go on.
Oh yeah, well, anyways, but it's you're absolutely right. And it's gone from little jokes at the dinner table and making fun of your white friend or your black friend. Because I used to be the only black girl with my white friends. And sometimes they joke about it. Like, oh, this is our black adopted daughter, or her hair don't look like ours, but she's ours, or whatever they would say. But now it's an actual out loud hatred.
Big time.
And it's just mind blowing the way people are being allowed to do it. But I'm going to wrap it up. But to your point of you like how I'm handling it, I went through a whole shame spiral. And I'm being honest, I'm not going to be like, oh, they're not me. No, I really went through a shame spiral because I didn't stand up more in that moment. And I saw myself kind of like cowering down, unsure of where it would go should I speak up. So I had to watch myself go through that as well. And that was very humbling for me because, you know, I thought I was already at that point that I could face things like that without question. But when it's at work, it's just so different. I don't know how to approach it without being so, like, you know, shot to the heart, you're evil, forgive your mother, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? So
but that's what I like about it. That's what I like. Instead of going further, instead of going too far, you're nobody knows that you're wrestling with that inside, and that wrestling is false anyways. It's just you already know because I've talked to you multiple times. You already know what's going on. You know it's not them. You already know all that. So I'm telling you what you already know, but that internal thing was just trying to make you think, trying to make you doubt that already, what you already know. And so it's like, should I have said something, da-da-da? When you already know, what the heck are you going to change? You can't change people. This is not the place to do it. And maybe you'll find a time or whatever to say something, but you're understanding me so far. But
yeah, I totally do. And it was, but I'm grateful that I did see that I was reacting in that way. And even kind of like, I was kind of judging myself a little bit just for a brief moment. You know, just for that quick enough moment where you said this a long time ago, or somebody you said at church one time, and Jesse's response was like, do you see the setup? It's like the second you thought you believe this, then Satan throws out that, and then if you're not watching, it's a setup, you know? So I definitely saw it, and yeah, I agree with what you're saying, though, 100%. It wasn't real. It didn't last. It wasn't that big of a deal, but it was just the knowing, the enough to know part was just like, oh, gut punch, you know? Get back up.
That is so interesting, Kai. I appreciate your call on this, too, because I kind of have similar kind of experiences to you. I didn't grow up like, I don't know, call it ghetto, call it whatever. I just didn't grow up like that. My family's like decent and all, like, you know, we're in Canada, too. And so when I remember being around, like, the Mexicans at the chateau, and I remember one time they said to me, I remember one of them, they're all tatted up with like the MS. He's like, yeah, I used to bang, man, but that was like 10 years ago. Anyways, they look at me reading and they'll be like, oh, he thinks he's Guido. He calls himself, he thinks he's a Guido. And I was reading a book. I remember hearing jokes about that blacks would say that to another black who's trying to educate himself. Oh, he thinks he's white. These Mexicans in 2019, they were saying that to me. And I just didn't relate. Sure. I'm just like, I just didn't grow up like that. And I remember the Mexicans and the blacks at the Chateau Marmont would, like, I don't even want to use this word, it's so beta, but bully the only white guy. And he would just take it, and I would see it all over his face. I know this is just anecdotal, but I experienced this.
Yep. I'm seeing a situation just like that right now at work. The lady, mind you, she's quirky as ever. I mean, if I had the nerve, I would say she's annoying, but I can't even call people annoying anymore because I'm like, well, who are you? You know, like, who says I'm not annoying? But everybody is so against giving this girl a chance. And guess what? She's Mexican. Mm-hmm. She has long, curly, flowy hair. Mm-hmm. And even though she's quirky as ever, she's still confident and she's still, you know, doing what she has to do to get her job done. Mm-hmm. And all these B words are so nasty to her. All of them. But I'm seeing that this situation's in front of me. I'm seeing how to handle it as it comes to, with no thoughts. It's enough to see it and then just let things happen and, you know, be present. And it's made a difference already, but all these spiritual things, they happen, but then they're happening in a professional setting. And this is my last thing I want to tell you. I just came back from Orlando. I swear, every time I talk to you, I'm like, blah, blah, blah.
No, you good.
The chat is probably hatefully roasting me, but I don't care.
Leave them.
But I
They're
just came
snakes.
back. Yeah, for real. I just came back from Orlando, and that's where the training center is for the corporation, the conglomerate of restaurants that I work for. And it was a fabulous trip. It was amazing, all those things. But we spent an entire day on DEI training. And you talking about struggle trying to sit through that class. I mean, they've had to implement this into their training because of lawsuits, obviously. I can't dox myself, but there's been lawsuits. There's been black people claiming discrimination. So the tables have turned so much to where they're now trying to train us how to deal with this equity thing and what that looks like. And if somebody can't get to work on time, you can't automatically punish them. Maybe they have to ride the bus, and that's not their fault if that's all they know. Like, all this BS is right here in my lap because I'm working for a corporation, and it's very mind-blowing.
Yeah, legalizing and putting it into, like, legal frameworks, this hatred, what it is.
Yeah.
It's crazy,
but it's
Kaya.
fake.
It's sick.
It's super fake. Yeah.
Kaya, appreciate your call. Can you call me again?
Yeah, enjoying the show, Nick.
Thank you so
sure
much.
Will. All right, bye.
888-775-3773. Do a little check here on the supers. We got a Rumble rant. Thank you, DJ T 2020. He says, El Mexicano más negro en Bond. That's what they say about me. That's what they say. Some say this. And yeah, I wear it proudly. And I'm not fetishizing the blacks, okay? I'm not even like that. Anybody that knows me, I'm not all like I don't know, like posery, like I'm black, like I talk like a certain way, and I don't know. I just didn't grow up like that. And so it not necessarily a fetish for the people who grow up like that. You just like a white guy from Oakland. He's black. You know, I'm talking about the fetishization that whites have done with blacks in thinking that they'll absolve themselves of some sort of sin. It's going to make you a good person. That's what I mean by fetish. They think it's like it's human sacrifice in a sense. It's like the Aztecs. Maybe they'll curry some good favor from the gods. Maybe they'll feel better about themselves and they'll be saved. It's really sick. It's really barbaric. But yeah, I think we can move on from this real quick though. Little Friday preview. The black wife effect. What do you know about the black wife effect? You don't need to be depressed. White guys. Look how happy he is. You don't need to be depressed. Okay? We're going to need to explain this for the folks tomorrow. You don't want to miss tomorrow's episode of Nick's Stream Fridays, Anchor Baby Airlines. Yeah, don't miss it. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss when we take off around 4 p.m. Pacific time. I'm just joking. I disavow swirling. And but we'll understand this mystery tomorrow and become culturally enriched. We disavow swirling, but this is a powerful effect. You don't need to be depressed. She's cute. I don't know what you're talking about. I think she's cute. She's a pretty girl. She's what it's like, you know. Anyways, Fridays, 4 p.m. Pacific time on this channel, we take a flight. It's a whole experience. Don't miss it. He not white. Yeah, he might not be white. He doesn't quite look exactly white. He might be a Latino or something. But it's had an effect on him over the years. It's a visual effect. Okay, folks, let's see here. We got people calling in, 888-775-3773. Mental illness. Just hold on for a sec. I'll be right with you. 888-775-3773. Speaking of fetishes, self-worshiping, love, and everything so far, check this out. This is a good thing. This is an amazing thing. This is what the world wants. They say this is a positive development, that this is progress, that this is evolution. Oh, how did I do that? How did I do an orange background? That's cool. That's snazzy. Okay, ignore that. Watch this video.
Well, I have the worst anxiety. I have the worst OCD in the entire world. Like, I'm on meds for it. But
oh, I have OCD too, and I'm on meds.
Wait, you're not seeing anything. Hold on.
Meds for it too.
What meds?
We're going to play that back. You're hearing some woman on a podcast. This guy's the host. The woman is, I forget her name. She was like an artist, right? She had some songs. Something about Havana. Something like Havana something.
Well, I have the worst anxiety. I have the worst OCD in the entire world. Like, I'm on meds for it. But
oh, I have OCD too, and I'm on meds for it too.
What meds?
Lexapro.
Prozac.
Cute.
Sanity. This is the face of sanity. Yes, queen, or as they say, we are so sane. But this is in fact what the world says. This is in fact what the world says. This is the face of sanity according to the medical world. This is the face of positive medicine and positive mental health. This is, I'm not lying. This is in fact what the world says, what the medical community says, right? Remember, they say affirmation, living my true self, living in honesty, therapy, antidepressants, anything but getting better, anything but getting better, anything but that. That's the whole thing behind this. That's the motivate. That is the driving force. Have you noticed that? Acceptance. Because that's what's causing conflict. That's what's causing pain, according to the medical community and the leading therapeutic information. Acceptance. That's why the LGBTs or whatever are feeling conflict and killing themselves and the high suicide rates. It's because they're not accepted. Their problems is our fault. The problems is the world's fault and the judgment on them and all that. That is, I'm not even making that up. That is leading therapeutic information. You understand? Proud pharmaceutical slaves, like Doom Jesus says in my chat. And they're proud of it. They say this is sanity, this is good. Even though he's like, I have the worst OCD, it's all this crap, and I got to take the drugs for it. Watch this. Let me hit you with a double.
2 weeks ago, I went into my doctor's office and I said, listen, I think I need to get off my antidepressant because ever since I got on them, my anxiety is better, but it feels like there's this wall here. I can't enjoy anything. I'm not interested in the world. And I went on to describe some things, and he sat there for a minute and he goes, okay, maybe we actually go up. And then he doubled my dose. And 2 weeks later, I've got gems on my face and my balloon animal earrings on again. A doctor was right. That was wild! I'm gonna mark it on my calendar.
A doctor was right. I got the gems. She has the gems on her face. She's better. Oh, she has the gems on her face. She has the gems on her face. It's a sign that she's better now because she's got the gems on her face. We go up, the doctor says. Yeah, we're going to double your dose. This is the face of sanity. And I'm telling you, I'm not even being facetious. This is the medical community and what they wanted. By the way, can I make this point like I was saying yesterday about taking on other people's fights? You might miss it if you weren't internally attuned to anger and emotions and their source, pure evil and pure chaos. You might miss it. You might think, oh, well, she's talking about her experience, Nick, and she's happy. And you might agree with her, but you might not realize, you might miss it. You would be adopting her fight. And I think, and this is maybe just my opinion, but I smell the vendetta. I smell the vendetta. She said, I listened to a doctor. Imagine that. It worked. If you missed it, the vibe is snark. The vibe is snark, and it's aimed at the people who maybe disagree, who don't maybe put that much stock into the experts and the doctors. I smell a vendetta. Vendetta alert. You don't want to pick up other people's fights. You might think, oh, that's right. This is why I agree with her. It's and medication's right. But you're you're actually adopting the fight of a woman, of a liberal who's mad at the people who question the medical community. What are you, an anti-vaxxer? You're one of those Trump supporters who didn't take the vax. You question the medical community, you backwards person. You understand what I'm saying here? You want to be careful with taking on other people's fights. You probably, because you wouldn't even know that that's what you're doing. Controlled tolerance. You know anything about tolerance in medicine? You know anything about that? If you know anything about that, you know that it doesn't get better. Okay, you just need more. Shout out epinephrine. Shout out all the ins. Shout out anybody on caffeine. Shout out anybody on any ene. You always need more. You always need more to get the effects you originally had. That's just a known thing. So you want to mess around with tolerance? Hey, whatever. Hey, tolerance in spirit, I think that exists too, by the way. That you could get used to hell in a sense. Hey, you want to play with that? I don't know. But the doctors academically deem the depression as far worse. Okay, it's far worse. It can lead to suicide. It can lead to death. When you see it like that, academically, like a doctor, then the drugs are good because it's keeping them from killing themselves. It's keeping them from harm. It's keeping them from depression, which is a life-altering and, it stops your life. But don't you realize they don't want to help? They don't want to help I smell desperation. I smell cope, okay? So fine, go if that's what you need to do, but just understand that that's what you're doing, at least. Please, don't go around going, oh, I'm going to the doctor, the expert who's going to fix me, and they know what they're doing. No, they're desperate and coping, and they're like, what are we going to do? I don't know. I know that the tolerance is getting worse, and in medicine, when you give them a drug and it doesn't work and you got to up it, it means that there are underlying issues that were not being fixed, but we got to do it. We got to do it. Because the medical community has to come up with an answer. Maybe they don't have it. I smell fear. That's what I smell. I smell fear. I smell people who haven't understood it within themselves, projecting onto others. Unhappiness for her. She says you can't enjoy stuff. She couldn't enjoy stuff until they upped her dose, until they doubled it. I realized something about people. That's what life is. That's why these depressed people say they feel nothing when they take these drugs. And it helps the anxiety. And so they can do the basic functions of life. But they suddenly don't feel life anymore. And it's scary. You can't enjoy stuff because that's what life is for most people. The depression, the up, the down, the feelings. That is life. So when So that's why this topic is so confusing. I had a caller yesterday talking about, or the other day, about how these drugs and stuff have their success rates and all that. I don't want to put words in his mouth. He didn't quite put it like that, but that's how I understood it. That he was saying that, but what about the people it helps? What about the people that are having major issues and their emotions are being regulated by this stuff? Well, it's a drug that does that. I don't know what to tell you, but anyone who's not, it's like anyone who starts praying and they're not ready for it. I'm kind of seeing those effects. Anyone who, you know what I mean? Like someone who starts praying and watching themselves and they're not ready for that. I've heard them say stuff like, but who am I supposed to be? How am I supposed to drop the feelings and thoughts? That's who I am. Now imagine a drug that kind of did that. Yeah, you would be shocked. You would be shocked. And it would cause another kind of conflict. It's all satanic. It's like the people who make themselves feel pain to get stronger on purpose. No, just live life. Okay, anyways, moving on. I'm not a doctor. 𝒔𝒐𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔. I'm just wondering, how can the medical community look at this, look at these two videos, look at the world and think, this is a success. This is good. I'll leave it at this. You know, it really is perspective sometimes. You know, like I even had a caller talking about how it's successful for some. And I understand why people think this. Like I get it in a sense. Because it has its physical success or whatever. So I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just wondering, like, do you really look at this like a success? And then we can get into Christianity a little bit. Like Christians, you think this is what God wants for you? I find that there really is only one mental illness, which is not real. But you can kind of collect all this false identities into one thing, self-worship. You got to be a self-worshiper to think all these things going on in your head is real. So if you feel bad for yourself, you feel good about yourself, you're doing a little bit of that self-worship. Imagine calling a thought, thinking a thought, feeling a feeling, and giving it a body, giving it a corporeal body. You know how like spirits are trying to get a body so they can do stuff in the real world? That's what you're doing when you give anxiety, when you give a thought a name like anxiety. You're giving a demon a corporeal body to affect the physical world, you, in a sense. Anyways, I'm just rambling at this point. 888-775-3773. We got Leo out of Texas. You're on the air, sir.
Thanks, Nick. How you been?
All is well, sir. And yourself?
Pretty good.
Right on.
Let's get into this, man. I wanted to have a conversation about, like, I noticed with the, with talking to the men, how the men are just caving into the women, being career women, and they have almost nothing to say about this at all. And I'm wondering, am I tripping for being very concerned about women in the workplace? Like, I'm hyper concerned with it because affects the men, because of the, you know, what happens, just, you know, things like they lower the requirements, they, you know, they begin to manipulate the system and say, oh, well, we have the same position, we should get paid the same. So I kind of,
it gives a wife options like, maybe I could just leave him. I have money.
Not that, because that's for you,
wait,
right?
no, not that. Is that too far? Yeah, maybe that's too far.
No, I can. I know you playing, but
kinda.
So more so like old girl that's a mod that just called before me.
Mm-hmm.
Like the fact like that she's in like that woman can eat, like you can ease. I think the thing for the women is if like you can choose the work life or you can choose to obey. And I think it's one or the other for a reason. You can obey the man, so to speak, the white man. You can obey the man or obey your man. It's like you're choosing either or. You're going to fall to submission of order. And I think that if you find a woman who is a career-oriented woman, you're going to find that she is less likely to submit to you. And I think they're causing their own hell. No woman has to go through that, man. She can be at home, you know what I'm saying, cooking meals and being able to poop without wondering if her co-workers is looking under the stalls or smelling. Women don't want to work, man. They really don't. This is all cap. I don't even know why they act like they do.
For the false freedom, I can be my own woman. I don't need no man. Hey, but I'll put it like this. About that, I'm not disagreeing with you. This is not disagreement.
Yeah.
But let me hit you with this.
Please.
You're talking about you can either obey or work. Let's say, you're a young marriage or something, and you don't have, you're still working stuff out, not quite a lot of money and no kids, and you need her to work. Does that mean she won't obey?
No, you don't need her to work. Listen, Eddie.
But in this hypothetical, you do.
Okay, let's just say you do. That's beta, but let's just say you do. And you do why? For more money? To pay the bills, to cover it?
In this hypothetical, you need it. You need it. And it's a good reason, not ego.
Obey?
It's a good reason, not ego. Like it's for family stuff.
Gotcha,
and it's to build your business.
Magical world.
Let's say you're building. Let's say in this case you're building a business, right? You're the guy. You're building a business, and it's early on, and it's working out. And right now, hey, honey, you got to do that server job so we can make ends meet while I make my $1 million idea work. You trust me, right? Right, baby?
No.
You say no. She should not work.
No, you should always trust a woman to be the woman, man, because she's a woman. So you trust her to be a woman, and what I mean by that is I can't display that I have more or equal capability like God has, and then expect God to be my God when we have the same power.
Mm-hmm. Again,
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
If I can control the spiritual realm, and I can really have free will, right? Which I don't. But if I could, and God can as well, then why am I going to submit to God? I wouldn't submit to God if I got free will.
Man, honestly, I cannot disagree with you so far with what you're saying. So let me put it like this. So I want deeper understanding. When there is no way in your mind, is there no way to show that order and love that you're talking about if she's working? If she's working, in your estimation, if she's working, you're not doing that.
I think every scenario would be different,
and
right?
Why?
Because you got people. Well, because you got the 40-year-olds trying to date the 40-year-olds, and maybe
interesting.
They're not trying to get married and have children, which is crazy. I don't know, but so that scenario will be different. But for the young people that want to do it right, and I'm very wary about what's right and what's wrong. But I would say that you notice, and I will base me saying what's right is not based off of Leo's interpretation of right, but more so what gets the best results. And we notice that with this, the woman, even if it's for a good cause, she loses respect for the husband. It'd be better for the husband to work 7 jobs and only come home to sleep 3 hours than it would be for her to work.
Interesting.
She must remain in her place.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
So for let's say marriages, are you aware of marriages where the woman stays at home and doesn't work and it doesn't work out? It's hell. The kids come out, angry or something.
I had the kids, but yeah, I've had that. Yeah, with myself, so I can relate.
So what do you think went wrong there? Because the woman wasn't working, following the order, whatever. What do you think went wrong in those homes? I know it's hypothetical. We're doing what ifs, but play the game with me a little bit.
From my understanding, it would be that the man is still he's failing to deal with her. So when the women say, "Yo, this is why," I'm like, really, listening to when the black women, they got that spirit, but man, I'm going to tell you, man, they don't be wrong if you really look at it. They don't be wrong that they just saying it with the devil saying it, and if you got a devil in you, it's gonna be triggered. So when they say things like "you can't handle us," and in the red pill community, you know, they ate that up. It's like, I'm supposed to handle you like an animal,
Yeah.
but actually she's right. You can't handle her because you're too weak to even resemble what a man is.
So what are those men missing?
Now,
what did those men miss?
They're still not resembling.
They saw the woman. They
man.
saw that she was staying at home. She's a good woman. I'm going to marry her. What did they miss?
It's within you. Being a man is within you. They can lack. You can have on the outside. It can look like you're doing traditional things, but within you got to be right. And
So
if
it's
you're
his
not
fault.
right, it's his fault. Yeah. But she caused it, but it's his fault.
So what he
definitely his fault.
missed,
It's the
what he
man.
was missing, she was right. She was fine. She's the stay at home. She's not working, so she's perfect. What he missed was something was wrong within him.
Yeah, because typically in those dynamics, you'll find that the traditional woman who says she's traditional comes out of that order. And now the man is trying to raise hell to keep her in that
Did you know
order.
women lie? Have you ever met a woman, Leo?
Yeah.
You know they
My
lie,
ex-
right?
My ex lied.
You know
but it's not about her. It's about me because it's you have to be vetting. And when a woman says she's going to do and serve and obey you, you'll see that over time. And there's certain things that she'll do that it will show. She will show you by how she carries herself, who she goes out with, who she talks to, what she looks up on social media, all that. It will tell you the person that she is. But we don't take the time as men. Because you know why we don't take the time, Nick?
Man.
Because these women are faster than fast food. So I'll be danged.
But I
if
thought they
have
were
to wait.
these women. Which women are you talking about? Women that don't stay home, I guess.
Yes,
But the women that do stay home, they're not like that.
No, they're the same. They're absolute. Remember what Pearl you showed with
Yeah.
Wait, no, that was
But
was,
that's what you're saying,
Joel.
man. You're saying this. You're saying the only problem is in the man, and he just didn't see something within himself. He's just weak. But he did right in picking this woman who stays at home, and that's great. That's just a good thing. And it sounds to me, man, that
I'm saying it's a better scenario though.
yeah, but you're talking like someone who doesn't know anything about female nature. Like that's not what that guy in this hypothetical had to figure out. That's not what he missed. He didn't miss something within himself. He didn't see what he was getting into. And that's what most men don't realize. They don't realize that the woman has no love. They don't realize that. They don't realize that that's how it is. That's how it is. That is the reality. And so he didn't miss that within himself. He just didn't know what he was getting into. And this is textbook with men who don't know what they're getting into. For them, a woman just staying home, rubbing his shoulders, calling him a man, that's enough. Wow, what a good woman. No, there's only one. If there's one thing that you're gonna watch out for in a woman, like Nick, what's the thing I should watch out for? It's this: that she doesn't judge you. That is maybe a big ask, especially for women today. But you got to understand what I mean by not judging you. Let's say you were young guy. Let's say you were a young couple and you were working out your business. I get it. The man's supposed to be impressive. He's got to bring the bacon and all that. But a woman who doesn't judge you, and let's say you really are an honest person, you're really working, you're really working out your business, really learning about the world, that should be impressive. That should be beautifully impressive. And you understand what I'm saying here? And in that scenario, a woman who doesn't truly loves and doesn't respects and is not going to judge, would be happy to build a life together with that man and work because she has to at that moment. She should stay home when the kids are born and all that. That's just positive. These are just positive things for a stable home. But it's like what I was saying earlier, the inner versus the outer. Let's not be shallow and think the woman just has to stay home. Like that's just words. That's just words. There's all sorts of women who stay home and call you a man. Look at these passport bros. It seems like every woman outside of America says that. And you're going to tell me those women are any different from an American woman? No, they're scared. No, they're a little worse because they know how to lie. They know what men like. And so they'll say the right things. We got to be about the inner, not the outer. not words. Are you following me a little bit? Do you think I'm?
I am,
do you think I'm
but I
off?
wanna
Do you
make-
think I'm off in anything so far?
I want to be clear.
Yes.
Are you saying that it should not matter if she's home or not home?
That is the proper place. That is the proper way to raise a family, for example. But for that to be your litmus test of this is a good woman, this is a godly or Christian marriage, like your legalistic kind of no space view leaves no room for kind of like the common sense of God. Because with the common sense of God, a woman working can still be obeying her man. It's not. You see what I'm saying? It's not about being okay with career women. It's just that the obey part has something to do with has more to do with the inner part than the outer part. It's just I'm trying to keep it simple here. You understand?
If she has a husband, first of all, I should just say if she's laying down with a man, there are certain responsibilities that a man should, take on right away, I think. So, in that responsibility is to take care of his wife. That's a God-given responsibility. Now, what does that mean? That's another conversation.
But, let's say he's doing that, right? I cut you off.
How's he taking care of his wife if she's working? She takes care of herself. She independent.
Well, she's only working because he said so. And this is what they're doing to build this thing together. Because they could just, okay, let's just divorce. Okay, I'll just keep working. I don't need to build anything. I'm fine. I'm a guy. I'm a man. I'm working. I can feed myself. But you understand what I'm saying here? I'm not discounting what you're saying, with the man's role and all that.
Yeah.
But we're talking about women here. And it seems like to you, just her staying home and makes her a good woman. So what if he didn't have money? What if he's... I'm just saying, like, nobody seems to think about, like, the average guy here. And women are quite judgmental, and they think they need so much. When they commonly have a sincere, hardworking guy, and that's already better than what they are in most cases.
Yes,
they have a sincere, hardworking guy, and that's already leagues better than. We're talking in a shallow way, better, worse.
Yeah,
but you understand me for language sake, right? He's already a sincere, hardworking guy. She's like, well, he always has. You understand me a little bit. I'm not talking about shacking up with some dude who you always got to pay for his stuff and he's not working, and you understand, but I may be rambling a bit. Hopefully people are getting
any environment to where the woman has to work with a man that is laying down with her, or and her vice versa laying down with him, is an environment that produces a weaker male. I'm saying it is better.
I don't disagree.
It is better for me to take on more and do more. And this is coming from a guy, man, man, I've done some beta stuff, man. I'm telling you. You know what I'm saying? So, but I've learned it and I've overcome, and now I endure the understanding that there are certain things that we cannot. It's almost like a code that we can't break. And that code is the woman cannot work, man. Society will pull her because it's it's like social media. You cannot entertain
husbands.
your woman. Yeah, that.
Just think about the concept of work husbands. But I honestly don't disagree. I'm just doing a little nitpicking on the inner versus the outer, the spirit, because a lot of men will hear something like what you're saying. I'm just doing a little nitpick. That's but I honestly can't disagree, man. Like, you're right. Like, it just breeds weakness. Look, these women out there. And we're talking generally. I know you got the most special girl at home. I know that she's amazing. But we're talking about work husbands. Like, think about that concept for a second. It just breeds weakness. I absolutely agree. I just got to be careful here. I like nitpicking in this, especially in this, because I see a lot of young men, and for them, that's enough. Oh, she said she's calling me a man. She told me she calls herself a Christian. She's like, I'm a Christian and I want a man to lead me. Nick, I found a great woman. It's like, dude, you don't even know what you're getting into.
Those Christian feminists are the worst. And now we got to watch out for the Jesse feminists.
Yeah, they learned what a real man
That's a whole
is.
nother demon. They gonna tell us. They tell us if we ain't no man if we don't do the silent prayer.
Yeah, I've heard a little bit of that. They learned what a real man is, and
Yeah, and then what they'll do is they'll use this, what I said, against me. So when they see that's why it goes back to what you said, man. It the best thing that we can ask for a woman, and I know we like the physical, because boy, do I like the physical. It's beautiful being in your early 30s. You can get all the women you want now. Anyways, it really truly is her not judging, right? Because you're gonna show some flaws. You're gonna have some flaws. The woman is gonna notice, and what she does in that moment will determine who she is. So if she's judging you for it, you lost some clients, you lost a job, and she's looking at you and she's going, "You bum, I could do better." Then that's the type of person
or it's like I don't know. She's just not happy. Like you rub her the wrong way when you do this or say that. You know what I mean? We have these things that we constantly do. We're trying to get better. And she's just mad. And I make money. I don't need this. It's like options. Bad idea.
Spot on, man. Spot on. Yo, amazing back and forth.
Yes, sir.
Yo, the content is fire. I'll be in the comments.
Leo, thank you so much. Call me again.
All right, Will.
888-775-3773. Can I say something about the Bond ladies, though? Real quick. Because, yeah, it's true. The women, they're learning. They're learning what a man is, and they're beating them over the head with it. Candace Owens out here, she's like, "You bunch of perverts." Yeah, not these men. Not these men in my replies. These aren't perverts. Okay, a bunch of you perverts, because these men in my comments, they're absolutely amazing Christian men, and they would never lust for a woman that's not their wife. Anyways, but can I say something about the Bond ladies? I don't know if you know. I don't know if you've been paying attention. Maybe you don't come to church. Maybe you don't go to the women's forum. I get it. You're not all in L.A. But some of these ladies, they're leaving the fellas in the dust. And the Bond ladies are cute. We got hella cute ladies. I'm sorry. Probably shouldn't say that. Now we're going to get a bunch of people who are like, I'm going to find me a wife at Bond. Leave them alone, okay? They don't need you. They might teach you something, is what I'm trying to say. The ladies at Bond, I think personally, this is my opinion, I think it's kind of a little bit of evidentiary proof here that the therapy works. I'm not calling Jesse a therapist. I'm just saying, in this world of mental health and therapy, I don't quite see a success rate. I don't see a revolving. You'd want to see. Hopefully, I'm not misusing this expression, but wouldn't you want to see a revolving door? You don't want to see the same people coming back. You want to see them growing, living their life. I see that with the ladies at Bond, and they're not pathetic too. Okay, anyways. Bum ba da bum. 888-775-3773. We got more calls. Let's get to those real quick. Jabrail, thank you so much for the super chat and the thumbs up. Appreciate that. I got one from W. Thank you so much, WT1 over there with the Rumble rant, rumble.com/American Anchor Baby. Make sure your wife's work husband is gay. I don't know, man. W. You see, you don't want her to turning into one of those cigarette hags. I'm going to leave it at that. A cigarette hag. Because if you notice, these gay people are real bitchy. She's gonna turn. She's gonna, and the women, they find that funny. They find it hilarious, and sometimes it's hilarious because gay men can be quite mean like women, and that's the only time they're really funny. That's the few times they're actually really like actually funny is when they're just nasty, and they say something mean about someone, but it's like kind of true. That's when women and gays are funny. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you want that kind of influence, but I get you, W. Need me a Bond broad. Oh, beta legs. Appreciate the support. True say everything is fake. I guess I shouldn't talk ish. Because that's the life I grew up. That's my generation. That's how I grew up. I know men. That's how I see men too. Fair enough. Okay, let's rock these calls. Back to back to back in the last 15 minutes of the show. There was all this there's an amazing story with Indians in Canada, and it really fits with the earlier reporting on, no one loves black people and how we're fetishizing these racisms and all these isms. There's an amazing story. India, I'm going to have to save it for tomorrow, I think. But they're mad, basically. Canada is changing the rules just a tiny bit. And they're like, okay, we gave you all this stuff. And you got it all. And that's what you came here for. Education, for example. So we got to send you home. This is getting crazy in some areas. And the Indians are out protesting. They're in the streets picketing. Like, diversity, we want fair rules, they say. Fair rules. I'm a little shocked. Even the based politicians, though, even the so-called truly, like the Trumps of Canada, like 𝒏𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔 or whatever. The guy who ate the apple? The apple guy? He's so based, I ate an apple. Let me chew on this apple, you dumb liberal. Yeah, that guy is out there telling the Canadians, don't deport the Indians. They deserve fair rules. It's truly incredible. And a savage, barbaric fetishization of these Indians. It's incredible. Let's get to Jaime out of Minnesota. Thank you, sir. You're on the air.
Hey, can you hear me?
It's a little messed up.
Yeah, I got to...
Are you in a car wash?
No, I'm in a car.
Let me put you on hold, sir. No problem.
Okay.
What a mess. Yeah, you could maybe call in, CSAL. That boy in the shower. Jaime calling from the wing of the Nickstream airplane. Hey, caller, you're on the air. What's your name?
This is CSAL?
I thought it was. How you doing? Something told me it was CSAL. How you doing, CSAL? You're on the air.
I'm good. All is well.
Oh, woman's good.
How are you, Nick?
Nice.
So this is such a fascinating topic. And we've been so lied to when I didn't hear the whole conversation of the last guy you were talking to about marriage and whether the wife, should work. And you're like, okay, but what if, the husband kind of needs her to work or blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. And that made me think, okay, but even pushing it even farther than that, what if the husband has a horrible accident, and he loses his legs and he can't work? Because right now we have this idea in the United States of marriage as like, he has to provide you with a certain level comfort, a certain life, a certain paycheck, a certain this and that. And the same for the women. She has to obey. She has to be beautiful. She has to take care of the children, blah, blah. And while all those things are good, I think we have forgotten that, number one, love is sacrifice. Marriage is, that's why in the New Testament, who said it? I don't remember. But basically it's like marriage, the husband has to sacrifice himself like Jesus Christ sacrificed for the church. Mm-hmm. And the wife has to obey, kind of like Jesus obeys the Father. The Bible doesn't say that, but that's the analogy that I'm making. And it's like, if a man loses, I guess my question is, let's say you get married, and you as a man, you lose everything that you thought you could provide for your wife. And I know Terry's going to be grilling me. Terry's going to be roasting in the chat. I'm not saying marry a poor person. Right. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, I guess, because my father got terminally ill when I was 12 years old. And I saw my parents go basically through hell. I saw my father go from this powerful, amazing pastor, deteriorate in a couple of years, and then die. So I saw my mom, sticking by him, fighting for him, taking him to the doctor, the 911 calls at 2 a.m. I mean, so what I'm saying is, you have to also think, a man, what is a husband good for? What is a wife? It's not just what they can give you. It's after you strip all of that down, and it's just that human being, you still have a duty, and you still have ¿cómo se? It's not sacrament, but it really is the vows that you take before God, till death do you part.
I understand you, yeah. And what you're talking about is basically an unfortunate circumstance, which then challenges this very notion of love and all that. What is it? And that's the reason I'm even playing this devil's advocate, because some people do it for an evil reason, because they want to breed doubt in this, should women obey? But the reason I'm playing devil's advocate is because I'm trying to challenge this blanket statement that conservatives and Christians are saying, oh, women should obey. Absolutely true, but we need to really know that, because the truth about that is that it's the perfect order. It's love. It's like the answer. And so we need to really know that it's not hate. We need to really know that it's the right thing. It's like love. It's actually love. It's beautiful. And to really know that, that's why I'm challenging it in a sense, because we can't just throw out a blanket statement and not understand it. Look how many Christian men are marrying so-called Christian women. It's not working out. So that's why I'm playing this sort of devil's advocate for deeper understanding of what we're talking about here.
Right. The divorce rate in the church is the same as the divorce rate out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I see conservatives. Oh, I'll cut you off, please.
No, it's because people don't want to, not that they don't want to suffer, but even Jesus said, in this life, in this world, you're going to suffer. If they hated me and crucified me, they're going to hate you and they're going to try to kill you. Because what I'm saying is, I think, I could be wrong, obviously, but I think the divorce rate is so high is because marriages, husbands and wives don't want to suffer.
Oh, yeah,
what it means to deal with a husband. Exactly. Right.
Yeah. I tend to agree, CSAL, and I can't help but point out this kind of like lack. Yeah, we're just not living in reality. It just doesn't feel like we're living in reality. Like I'm talking about conservatives, Christians. It's just ban porn. Just make marriage, just make divorce illegal and throw them in jail and execute them. I mean, I guess I understand what you're trying to do, but we got to live in reality, right?
Yeah, that's not what God does. God doesn't ban a whole bunch of things. God told us you can do whatever you want. Your consequences are going to be your consequences, and if you want to burn in hell, you can burn in hell. That's all you, basically.
Interesting. Well, CSAL, I do appreciate it. Is there anything else here you want to say?
No, that's it. Thank you. It was so nice talking to you.
Of course. Thank you so much. Call me again.
Oh, but I love your sister.
You saw my fam on the Jesse Lee Peterson show.
Your mom is something else. She's got so much personality.
She's hilarious.
And your sisters are so sweet. Yeah, but yeah.
Anytime we're with Mom, she's got stories. She's cracking us up. That's just how she is. She's definitely a personality. She was like, she kept telling me, she's like, Nick, do you think like that was? She was like, Nick, yo soy como soy. Like I'm me. I'm gonna be me. I don't know if that was wrong. If you didn't want me to say I don't obey on the air, I'm just like, nah, Ma. Like that's you do you. That was amazing radio. That was a perfect segment. That was truly perfect.
When Jesse was like, do you have anger? Do you have anger? She's like, no.
Sometimes maybe if someone brings it out of me, sometimes if sort of.
And then she's like, now you're making me angry. That was awesome.
That was killer. I was really nice to have them there, and they saw what I did, and it was interesting. They were like, Nick, like I get it. I get what you're doing. Like my sisters, they were like, I don't know. It was just cool. It was definitely nice.
Yeah, it was.
Do you
awesome.
notice you sound a little bit like Paola?
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I get it.
Take care, CSAL. Appreciate your call.
Thank you. Bye.
888-775-3773. I mean, don't know if you'll get on in the last few minutes here because I'm giving it all to Jaime, giving all my time here to Jaime. Sorry, man, if you called earlier and I missed it. I did say I was going to get to you earlier.
That's okay. How you doing, Nick?
All is well, sir.
Hey, what's wrong with the blacks?
What's wrong with the blacks? What do you think?
What's wrong with the whites?
Fetishes.
I think it's the same thing. They're all just a bunch of angry people.
I gotta say, I gotta agree.
Yeah. So with the wife being at home, my wife and I, we talked about what our roles were going to be while we were dating. You know, if we got married, we talked about having kids and things like that. And I had the better job by a long shot, you know, and we wanted the kids. We talked about it. But this woman obeying me, you know, it was that she was going to follow my plan for the rest of our life.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it meant to obey, is that she's going to follow me.
That's how I see it. Yeah.
And but she was raised by her parents to see that the man is the man and the woman is the woman. I mean, her mother had like 12 kids.
Wow.
So she saw that a woman is going to be in the house, and the father is going to be at work bringing the money home and that kind of stuff, and you're going to respect the dad this way and respect your mother that way. So our situation that we had is different than the situation that's going on for other people now today. You know, I guess you could say we lucked out. But the both of us, we were in our mid-30s, and we already took our lumps through life, you know? You know what I mean?
A little bit.
Like, we made all the wrong choices in our younger days. And we both got sick of it and decided to be right. Do life right, the right way.
Mm.
As far as, you know, are we going to have kids? Are we going to be with this kind of person? Or, you know?
You got your willies out.
Huh?
You got your willies out.
Right.
Hey, that's interesting. It's an interesting thing to think about, man.
Yeah. So, but this obey thing, it's not that hard to figure out. You know?
Can you offer some advice for the youngins?
Well,
on what that might be,
your mother,
and what people are maybe what are they getting wrong about that they're feeling so much conflict over it?
It's the emotions. You got to forgive their mother and fathers so that they can be right, and they'll stop thinking and having thoughts.
Nice,
and
man.
Trusting their thoughts, and they get married because of the looks, and then that's all they want. But they don't see past that, and like, you got to have kids, and kids need food, and food costs money, and housing, and all that
like
other stuff.
Reasonable, like rational kind of conclusions. Makes sense to me, man. If I can add to that, words, just you got words that control you. You had dogs. You had all these dogs, ladies. The world tell you, okay, I got a dog. I'm a dog mom. Obey. What do you mean, like a dog? And it's like, wait, hold up, ladies. You don't even know what I mean. I'm talking to Jaime here. I bet you if we said it the way we said it here, it just means follow me. All of a sudden, that's a nicer word, huh? So get over words. Get over words.
Yeah. There was a lot more I wanted to say, but because,
Now let's run it. Let's run it till the end of the clock, sir. You go ahead. No one's after me.
I've had thoughts about my wife and my son. You know, what are they going to do for money if I get hurt or die? And that's when you get insurance. You know, you get life insurance and you get disability insurance. And those are the things that you got to think about practically. You know, once all these emotions are over and, you see that those are the right steps, you know.
Right, to protect yourself and family. I can't disagree with that, Jaime, man. Thank you for that.
The thing that's wrong with the blacks and the whites and even the Asians and those American Indians,
yes,
they're all angry people that want to be traumatized, and they love their trauma.
Have you ever read Deuteronomy 28?
No.
Fascinating little passage about the blessings for obedience and the curses for disobedience. The blessings for obedience. You'll be blessed in the city, blessed in the country. Fruit of your womb will be blessed. Crops of your land, the young of your livestock, basket of your kneading trough will be blessed. The curses for disobedience. You will be cursed in the city. Your basket and kneading trough will be cursed. The fruit of your womb will be cursed. The crops of your land. You will be cursed when you come in, cursed when you go out. Rebuke everything you put your hand to. Like basically everything you touch it just won't go well. Hey.
Mm-hmm. In the man's got to go out and work. It's typical that the man makes more money anyways. Even if you're one of those homosexuals getting married, both men better be at work. You know, one can't stay at home.
Yeah, hold up. Yeah, that's a female woman thing. Both men, you're men, and that's what men do. They work. So I don't want to see y'all gay men at home not working.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jaime.
Well, you have a good day.
Appreciate it, sir. Call me again. All right, folks. That's it. That's the show. Thank you so much for calling and supporting the super chats and all that. Let me do a quick check here before we go. Great show today. That's from Asia, Amazing Asia, not just Asia, the Amazing Asia. Thank you for that. 𝒔𝒐𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍� with the little emoji, Samogi with the emoji and the super chat. Thank you so much. Rumble, you guys rock. D Live, love ya, but I'm out. Take care, y'all. I'll see you tomorrow. Don't miss Anchor Baby, Airlines, Nick Stream Fridays. That's how we do it. We love it. We take off. We do our flight here. You don't want to miss it. Take care. See y'all tomorrow. Open Line Friday. The Fallen State Hate Report and all that. Peace. Take care.